think publishing is a lifestyle.
I learned here for 6 months. If you talk to some of the older leadership here, they'll be like, she refused to leave.
But there is so much of thought and empathy and sympathy that goes in picking up fonts that is suitable for this book.
It's safe to say that. Then choice to bring her.
Publishing for tweens, young adult, always tricky.
I'm Gurmehar Kaur. I'm an author at Penguin India, and with me I have Milee, publisher at Penguin India. And today I'm going to ask her some very interesting questions. And the first being, Milee, you have published some of the most original voices that have come. But what is it that makes these voices original?
I think there are two things. One is, of course, I in my career have published a lot of debut voices. So these voices are fresh, new, interesting. We also try and publish people across the spectrum, so diverse set of people. So with them, they bring their own voice, right, from different regions, different experiences, and then they tell their own stories. So I think that is definitely one aspect of it. The other is that we also consciously look out for, authors who can write on certain subjects which we feel are important, whether it's just to do with women or diversity or a lot of other things that we are focused on over the past few years. And ultimately it's a combination of both.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. But I think talking about fresh new voices, you have also published some of the most famous and acclaimed names in the industry and outside of the publishing industry. But what are your top 5 favorites?
Well, that is always very, very difficult to say because I've been around in Penguin for more than 14 years. I've published hundreds and hundreds of writers. So for me to choose top 5 is very, very difficult, honestly. But I can talk about some which are important, in the current publishing space and some new developments or trends that we are seeing in the industry today. Yeah. So, we all are so excited. We celebrated the Booker win, right? Yeah. We won the book of Read Samadhi, 2 of Sand by Gitanjali Shri. So that definitely has started or boosted the trend of translations from other regional languages into English. And this is something that we've been doing as part of our program already, but I think this has got renewed focus, more energy, and everyone is interested in translations now. So I think that is one positive and a big trend going forward. The other, I think, definitely would be also to do with a lot of, we see war stories and military stories doing very well in the country. They trend most of the time, and there is a hunger to read real stories of heroes from India's defense services. So that's been, I think, also something that we picked up on early, and we've published India's Most Fearless series and books by Rachna Mishra and several other writers. We also launched our own imprint for that, Penguin.
And what have you've been here for such a long time? What have these years been like at Penguin for you?
Well, I can't imagine my life without Penguin now because it seems I've been around for too long. So, like I said, I've been with the company for more than 14 years. I've seen a lot of ups and downs and the merger and now also stepping into my new role, integrating the entire publishing list for adults into one umbrella, right? Under one umbrella. And it's like, I think these kind of creative industries really take a lot of you also. You put in your heart and soul into your work. The best part, of course, is working with amazing people. So we have a brilliant team here, but also wonderful authors like you. And I think some of my most memorable moments would be some conversations, time spent with my authors.
Like going back to memorable moments, I think first days are always memorable.
Yes.
Do you remember what your first day was like at Penguin, and how did that journey from being maybe a college student to being a publisher began? What made you gravitate towards this industry?
Well, a lot of people know this already, but I got into publishing by accident. It's not something that I chose to do because I was I was good at studies, but I was confused. I was not a very strategic, student, and I didn't plan my career really well. So I got into publishing by accident because one of my friends had joined publishing and I studied literature. I did my master's in English literature. So I took his advice, and he said that you'll enjoy this because it's fun and this is what we love. We love books. But I still remember my first day in my life as an editor. And I still remember that day. I was given a quiz book to edit, but I loved even that, and I think I just tasted blood. I felt at home, and I felt happy, content. So I think I never looked back after that. I've been very lucky because my bosses have been very supportive, and I got breaks every 2 years or less than 2 years because I'm a restless person. I like to do a lot. So before, I think they sort of preempt that, and so I got a lot of interesting challenges along the way and new roles. And when I was around 29, I became the editorial director. So I've been working with Gaurav very closely since several years, and it's been amazing. I think there's always so much to do, right? So you never sort of, I think, get bored. The danger is
Getting bored.
And for me, because I have that energy and I want to do so much all the time.
So you're looking, there's something that you're doing, and I feel like I want to tell the viewers, if you're looking at the faces of all your young new publishers here. So I know I did literature in college as well, and by some stars aligning, miracle of God, right place, right time, I happened to publish a book very early on. But I think even as like a first year student, for me as someone who's in love with books and language and literature, publishing seemed like the very natural choice. So what advice would you give to the many young students here who are looking at publishing as a career? How do you start, and how do you stick, because you said, at 29 you were the director, the editorial director, and how do you reach that sort of success that you've reached?
Well, I think everyone's journey will be their own, and unique. So I don't know how their trajectory will be, but people who are interested in publishing, I can speak to them, and I meet a lot of young people all the time. They are studying literature or they're interested in books and they want to try it out. The first thing is that you have to love this industry and love publishing and books, because otherwise it's very difficult to survive. It's very easy to get burnt out because it's non-stop excitement, it's non-stop creativity. We don't normally have weekends completely free because we have a lot of festivals, events. I do a lot of author calls actually on weekends, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, because I'm more free. I think I have that mental peace and quiet, and so it's something that you have to accept as a lifestyle. I think publishing is a lifestyle. It becomes part of your DNA, at least it did for me. And then of course also try and balance your creativity with sort of smart thinking, because a lot of publishing that we do now is also about getting the best voices to write a book on a particular subject that people want to read about, but it's also about packaging, it's also about smart thinking, timing, and so on. So you have to think about all aspects of publishing, and that requires like both in and out kind of an experience. So you're immersed in the profession and in your job, but you also have a view of what is happening around in the world. I think that is very important to have as well.
Okay, so I think I do have one more question before my final question, but I think this would be, there's always, as readers, we see publishing houses and books as almost the ultimate sort of. Have you ever felt the pressure of I need to publish all the right things to guide the society? Has that ever happened?
Well, there is a very strong sense of purpose, I think, in most editors, and we are very conscious about the impact that books have on people's lives, and on society in general as well. So that is something that is part of our thinking. It becomes part of our subconscious thinking, and we are guided by it most of the time. So when I talk about diversity, I talk about women voices, I talk about debut authors, I talk about Indian personalities and Indian voices or translation. So it's all that, you know, is part of our thinking, everyday thinking, and we are very aware of a sense of purpose. So I think you're right. I think we don't feel burdened by that. I think we adapt to that very early in our careers. All editors, I think about these things quite actively, and it is how we get conditioned over a period of time.
No, thank you so much, Milee. That's so nice to hear from you. And thank you so much for this wonderful interview and your insights. They're so important, and I'm sure our viewers would love them.
So thank you so much, and it was lovely talking to you.